I made a mistake in recalling the events of 12 years ago.
Just a few hours after NBC suspended Brian Williams, Jon Stewart announced he would not return to The Daily Show next season. Williams, who took over as anchor of NBC's Nightly News in 2004, is now left in disgrace. Stewart, on the other hand, who started out as an obscure comedian, has risen to prominence as a trusted newsman.
But first, obviously, the big news of the past few weeks, the town of Ferguson, Missouri.
Once upon a time, news anchors were king. Walter Cronkite, CBS anchor from 1962 to 1981, and protege of the legendary Edward Murrow, was thought by some to be the most trusted man in America. After a scathing broadcast from Vietnam, President Lyndon Johnson is reported to have said, "If I've lost Cronkite, I've lost Middle America." Cronkite retired in 1981 and was succeeded by Dan Rather. The following year, Tom Brokaw took over as anchor at NBC, and the year after that, Peter Jennings at ABC. For the next 2 decades, these 3 men dominated the news report. The country turned to them in moments of tragedy and triumph.
From the west side of the Berlin Wall at the Brandenburg Gate, I'm Tom Brokaw.
But even as the position of anchorman stayed the same, the media landscape was changing fast. Cable television was rapidly expanding, and nightly broadcasts were being overtaken by the 24-hour news cycle, undermining the dominance of the network anchors. In a 6-month period starting in December 2004, Tom Brokaw retired. Dan Rather was forced out in disgrace over a controversial investigation, and Peter Jennings died of cancer. It was the end of an era.
It is now our job from this day forward to endeavor each evening to put the finest work of this organization on the air.
Brian Williams succeeded Brokaw at NBC, where the nightly news remained popular, but the landscape had shifted even further. By that point, there was an unlikely challenger at Comedy Central. Stand-up comedian Jon Stewart hosted The Daily Show. The Daily Show borrowed its structure from the nightly news shows, but drew younger viewers by mixing opinion and satire with Stewart's brand of hard-hitting interviews. It also introduced a paradox. Many viewers regard Stewart personally, and satirical news more broadly, as more authentic and more trustworthy than traditional broadcasts. Brian Williams' future is uncertain, but the dominance of the nightly news, in particular, the preeminence of the anchor as the most trusted person in America, might well be a thing of the past.